When the going gets tough, the tough get going. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. I see a lot of real estate agents reducing prices for their listings. There is not a single day that passes by when I don't see another price reduction. They say price improvement. What does that mean? It's reducing prices. Stop it. Stop it. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? It's not beneficial to the seller. It's not beneficial to the listing agent. It's not beneficial to the buyer's agent. It's not beneficial to the buyer, and it's not beneficial to the economy. Why did I say that? Let's start, for example. Why is it not beneficial to the seller? A listing goes stale within the first 2 weeks if it does not sell within the first 2 weeks. It goes stale if it doesn't sell the first 2 weeks. For a long time, we've seen properties stay on the market for only 1 week, 2 weeks. And agents gotten used to that, right? And sellers gotten used to that. Now, when a listing doesn't sell in the first 2 weeks, and now they're staying longer on the market, the seller's panicking, especially if the seller's moved out. Sellers moved out. Maybe they have another mortgage that they got to pay over there. Or they made decisions to leave California. And guess what? The stress is on them. And then you're going to come back and tell them, hey, listen, let's negotiate. Let's get the price down. How low are you going to go? The average reduction is about 5 to 10%. Let's say you start with 5%, you're going to go back to the seller and say, hey, well, let's wait for 1 week, okay, and see how it goes. Guess what? If I am the buyer's agent or if I'm the investor, I'm not going to offer you your reduced price. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go lower. So how's that good to the seller? Why is that good for the seller? It's not good at all. So what you do is basically you're going to have the seller credit the buyer or the buyer's agent. Credit the buyer or the buyer's agent. All right? So for the buyer is what? The buyer can pay down, okay, can use that to pay for non-recurring closing costs. But guess what? They can also use the seller's credit to buy down the interest rate. Okay? And not just that, they can also use that seller credit to do what? To reduce, this is not buy down, to reduce the buyer's interest for the first 2 years. What does that mean? That means that basically if the floor rate, that means they cannot go lower than that. They cannot buy down the rate lower than 6.25% for a conventional loan. Let's say they cannot buy it down or 5.70% for the jumbo loan. However, let's say that's a cap or that is a bottom they can go. I tell you good news. The good news is basically the seller's credit, additional credit, can actually help the buyer paying only 4.25% for the next 2 years. For the next 2 years, why are properties staying longer on the market? Because the interest rates are high. And so for that reason, the buyers think, oh my God, I can't afford that. But maybe next year, their income is going to grow. Maybe 2 years from now, the income is going to grow, right? And now it's like, I'm not going to buy this. I can't afford those payments. How about if for the first 2 years, their payments are what they say they can afford? Do you see now how they can buy this property and the seller doesn't have to go through that pain of reducing the price? How does that help the listing agent? How does that help the listing agent? Guess what? The listing agent, the property's been on the market for 2 weeks, hasn't sold. Now you're going to the seller and asking the seller to reduce the price. Are you going to do another open house on that property? The last thing you want to do is do an open house on a property that's not selling. And you sit there, you're going to be alone. Maybe a ghost is going to visit you. You don't want to do that, right? Oh my goodness, we've been used to not even doing open houses and they're selling like this, like hotcakes. And now you're going to sit in that open house and only one person is going to show up. Are you praying, oh God, send me a buyer? You don't have to do that. If you listen to what I'm telling you, you don't have to do that, okay? And then how does that help the buyer's agent? You, the listing agent, and you, the seller, are going to give the buyer's agent more commission. Typically, you offer the buyer's agent only 2.5%. Why do you restrict it 2.5%? And you're going to reduce the price by 5 to 10% because that's the average reduction, and you're not sure what's going to happen. What you should do is basically this. You should offer the buyer's agent 6% commission. Even if you're offering your listing agent, or you're offering your seller's agent, what? 3%. You got to offer the buyer's agent 6% because the buyer's agent can now give the incentive to the buyer. Give the incentive to the buyer, not only to pay for closing costs, so that they don't pay for closing costs at all, okay? Not only pay for closing costs, but also to buy down the interest rate to the floor or even further, like I mentioned, right? So that helps the buyer's agent. Wow, that's amazing, right? It's a win-win. How does that help the buyer? Of course, the buyer is going to get this property, even though they're buying a little higher, okay? They're going to buy this property, and what's going to happen? They are not going to have to pay any closing costs. And for the first 2 years, their interest rate is going to be 2% lower than the floor rate. How is that good news for the buyer? And how does that help the economy? So right now, everybody's dropping the prices. Everybody's dropping the prices. It's not helping the economy at all because they don't know what they're doing. Agents don't know what they're doing, so drop the price. Okay, you drop the price, you're going to drop it again. If you drop the price, the buyers think that the market is dropping. So why would I buy right now if I'm a buyer? Why would I buy right now if I'm an investor? If it's dropping everywhere, like whatever. Okay, so why would I buy? Now is not a good time to buy if it keeps dropping. So you keep it the way it is. It's going to be good for the economy. It's going to be good for the buyer. It's going to be good for the seller. It's going to be good for the agents, the listing agent, as well as the buyer's agent. So provide solutions like this. I am Paul LaJoie from the Money Market Inc. The Money Market Inc. is the Amazon for mortgage solutions. We provide solutions that can help real estate agents and their buyers and everybody, as I mentioned today. 5 categories of people that will benefit. The economy will benefit. Uncle Sam will benefit, right? And you, the buyer's agent, will benefit. The buyer will benefit. The seller will benefit. The seller's agent will benefit. This is one of the solutions I'll provide. I got a ton more on our YouTube channel. It's called The Money Market Show. Go to The Money Market Show and I talk about all kinds of stuff that can help you grow your business exponentially, especially in the next quarter. What do I gain from it? Well, education. I'm here to educate, to enrich, and to empower. I know real estate like the back of my hand, and I know how to help provide solutions. I am not a coach. I'm not like Tom Ferry or Mike Ferry or all those people. Okay, listen, I give you a solution, and then what I benefit. If you see what I benefit, okay, or you see what I'm giving you, and you think it's beneficial, you want to sit down with me, I can even interview you on my channel, okay? And I want you to be one of the agents that refer me business, okay? So if I tell you a solution like I'm telling you right now, guess what? If a buyer comes and says, Paul, how are you going to do this? Okay, the buyer's agent, how are you going to help my buyer with this, what you just said today? Of course, I want to be the solutions provider. I want to be the teacher. I want to be the educator. I want to be the guy that enriches, the guy that empowers. It brings me satisfaction. So if you found some value in what I shared today, please don't hesitate to call me. My number is 415-510-0127. 415-510-0127. My email address is LaJoy, LEJOY at themoneymarket.us. LaJoy, LEJOY at themoneymarket.us. And my web address is themoneymarketinc.com or themoneymarket.us. Themoneymarket.us. This is Paul LaJoy. Until next time, go to my channel, like the video, share it, and by all means, call me for a solution. Paul LaJoy. Go and get tough, the tough get going. They're going to get tough, the tough get going. They're going to get tough, the tough get going. Get going, my man. My woman.